Kenya currently boasts 43 banks with a population of around 35 million and 10 million of those bankable. Why has the West African giant entered this market?
Thank you very much. First of all, you see, Kenya provides a very good opportunity for the local market here, but also for the regional markets. You realize that about 6 countries from Kenya to Southern Sudan, Ethiopia, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Uganda, all of them depend on the financial system around in this country. So there's a very big opportunity that for a bank that can come and get established here like UBA, they're going to be serving the entire region. Then secondly, I think a lot of import and export business occurs around here for the region. And therefore, some of the mega deals that have happened before have had to include syndicated loans whereby 2 or 3, 4 banks have to come together to lend for one particular client. So I think when big banks like UBA can come in this market, they can be able to come and fill some gap which is existing in the market.
However, in order to do that, they would have to expand fairly quickly. They've opened 2 branches. They're looking at targeting the mass market. However, many believe they won't necessarily survive on their own. What's your take? Are we likely to see mergers or some acquisitions happening in the near future?
Thank you. First of all, UBA cannot survive in this market, on the mass market, if they don't have branch network. So I think 2 branches, all of them based in Nairobi, could be the starting point. I think for them to succeed in this market, they'll have to probably target a medium-sized bank or a large bank for that matter, one which has a countrywide branch network. Then they can be able to go to that kind of a market. But I think more importantly, UBA should be able to focus on the corporate side also, because that's where the most demand is. Again, in a market, Kenya is a market where it's very much segmented. If you look at the 43 banks, there have been more than 46 banks just about 2, 3, 4 years ago, and all of them were able to survive. So I think UBA, if they came in this market with that kind of a concept, they may succeed, particularly if they look on the institutional side, as well as the corporate side. On the retail side, they may have to maybe get into a merger with a local bank, or probably buy into another bank like the way EcoBank did in the local market.
Then, Fred, they would definitely need way more than the 1 billion shillings they've injected into this market.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is a capital-intensive kind of a business. And for them to compete fairly, even on that retail sector, they'll have to be looking at figures of more than $1 billion. Let me give an example of the top 3 banks. We have KCB, we have Barclays, and we have Standard Chartered. All these banks are doing between 150 billion to 200 billion Kenyan shillings. So, and for them to be able to compete effectively, and given like the market has just opened up in these neighboring markets, for them to be able to affect and serve equivalently with those 3 big banks, they have to increase the capital. And particularly so, not only for the Kenyan market or the Kenyan business, we are looking at construction going on in Southern Sudan, which needs a lot of capital, and most of the other markets like Burundi and Rwanda, which have opened up, and they depend on this market. So for UBA to be able to have a muscle like the way EcoBank came and were able to be peacefully integrated in the system, they have to pump in more capital fairly quickly than later.
Well, as you've alluded to, we know there's currently plus minus 10 foreign banks operating in this market. So one can conclude that it's surely a market that's been open to foreigners coming in, as you mentioned, EcoBank, Standard Chartered, Barclays. However, in terms of the operating climate, what can UBA expect in terms of the challenges going forward?
I think one of them is going to be innovativity, if they are to be able to survive in this market. First of all, we have just about 10 foreign banks. So I think that's a good crowd for 10 foreign banks to be here. And I think out of those 10, just about 5 of them have been able to do business across the country and across East Africa. If UBA is to succeed in this market, first of all, they are faced with many challenges. One of them is going to be the technology, to be able to be ahead of the market, to be able to give innovative products probably in the system that some of the top 10 foreign banks are not offering. Secondly, they need to be able to be proactive and very fast enough and be able to serve the needs of the market. I'll give an example of a bank like Citibank. Citibank is in this market, but Citibank has never gone across the market, and they've never served the local or the retail sector. And they are equally a force to reckon with, but because they're so big on the foreign business and corporate and institutional business. So maybe UBA may need to come with a unique kind of a product or service that can be able to target the entire economy for them to succeed.
And Fred, just before you go, are we likely to see more West African players coming into this market? What's the word on the ground?
I think this market is a bit fairer. It accepts foreign banks, Western African banks, South African banks, and any kind of a bank actually can really make it. I think the strategy in this market is to be able to come and partner and probably merge with a local bank, a medium-sized bank for that matter, that operates countrywide. Then that gives you a soft landing spot for you to be able to maneuver around. Remember, in an economy with 43 banks have been surviving like that for the last like 20 years, for a new entrant to come and develop a market niche, for them to be recognized, is going to be a very, very hard task for them to do. So one of them is the mergers. Secondly, is an outright buyout, if they can succeed in negotiating and getting one. But thirdly is to consider some of the unique products that they can come and bring. Like, for example, securities lending has not been a big business in this market. I think it's a big business in Nigeria.